Well, hello, everyone. I am Alvin King, the host of He Said, a look at the world from a seasoned Black man's perspective. It is Friday, May the 27th, and welcome to our new episode celebrating Black Pride 2022. For the past 2 years, COVID has placed a hold on our annual celebration, and it really means a lot for us to have this platform and provide you with some history about Black Pride and recognize those who shaped the history of Black Pride. Vash and I will also speak with our special guests who have picked up the baton to ensure our Black Pride flag continues to wave. Tonight, as we talk about the history of Black Pride and how three men in Washington, D.C. are the reason Black Pride is on our map today. For many of you who live in D.C. like me and was fortunate enough to experience a historic clubhouse on the corner of 13th and Upshur Street in Washington, D.C. from 1975 to 1990, you can attest it was the premier community gathering space for us notables for the Memorial Holiday weekend. Every Memorial Day weekend, the clubhouse hosted a very special event called the Children's Hour. As a membership-only club on a normal Saturday, all members could invite 10 guests. But for the Children's Hour, we could only invite 4 guests because the event drew major headliners like Grace Jones, Shaka Khan, Patti LaBelle, Colonel Abrams, and the one and only Sylvester, and it was always a sold-out crowd. And you know, technology wasn't like it is today. You had to call in by phone to put your guest name on a list, and someone was physically taking down your information by hand. And trust and believe that list was never wrong. But after the clubhouse closed its doors in 1990 and the impact of HIV/AIDS attacked our community, 3 LGBTQ men came together and took a stand to carry on the legacy of the Memorial Day holiday to make certain the LGBTQIA+ community of color had a space to go to when the Capitol Pride organizers didn't provide representation for us in their planning process. Wilmore Cook, Theodore Kirkland, and Ernest Hopkins, say their name, came together for the entire Black LGBTQIA+ community and decided that they would move our celebration to May 25th, 1991 to the Banneker Field that's right across the street from Howard University right here in DC. And it was that day that it became the first DC Black Pride. As DC Black Pride event grew in the mid-90s, the organizers decided the event needed to have board of directors, and they filed for incorporation and became a 501c3 non-for-profit and became Black, Lesbian, and Gay Pride Day. DC Black Pride was the catalyst for what is now referred to as the Black Pride movement. Since the birth of DC Black Pride, now Black Pride celebrations take place throughout the world, and many of them use DC Black Pride as their model. In 1998, Earl Foltz, president of Black Pride at that time, met with organizers in other cities to form the International Federation of Black Pride, which later became the Center for Black Equity. So remember, 32 years ago this weekend, a group of men, Wilbur Cook, Theodore Kirkland, and Ernest Hopkins, saw a need to rally the community around HIV and AIDS in Washington, D.C. But little did they know that their clear mission to combat and educate the community about HIV and AIDS would lead to a movement that would impact the lives of millions of Black LGBTQIA+ men and women around the world. Equal rights have increased in the United States and many places around the globe over the past 32 years. Yet many LGBTQIA+ men and women of African American descent continue to feel the need to develop community to stand against HIV/AIDS, homophobia-inspired violence, and the bigotry that exists. Tonight, our special guests are carrying that baton. We have Rahim Briggs, CEO of Project Briggs, and Dr. Jabrielle C. Moore Butler, owner of the Butler's Kitchen, and they are hosting Pride by the River on Monday, May the 30th. And you will meet their headliner featured in their event, ladies and gentlemen, entertainer Marck Angel, ladies and gentlemen, and he has a very, very special surprise for us. But without further ado, I'm ready to bring on the He Said stage tonight, my one and only co-host, Mr. Vash Boddie. Can you come on in here, Vash?
Hey,
Hey,
Alvin.
hey, how you doing, man?
Look, I am doing all right. Look at you and this hat. Give it to me. Give it to me.
It's
Uh,
Pride. It's
uh.
Pride.
Are
Hey,
you ready for the
Sean, how you
sun?
doing?
Doing all right. I am doing all right. It's good to be
Welcome
here
to
with
the
you.
show, my friend. Welcome to the show. Let me ask, have you had a great week? You're doing good? You know,
I
we got to
have
check
been.
in.
Look, you know my phrase. I'm bobbing and weaving all through the week.
Okay,
So it's good
okay.
to end up here. It's like I slide into Friday like home base.
Okay, well, you know, you do it with style because you're so beautiful. So thank you, Vash, for just being Vash. But I got to ask you, you know, there's been so much going on in the world this week, and I just needed something to feel good. And one of our viewers in North Carolina sent me a clip
Hmm.
by the singer Tank, an interview that he was in. And I don't know if you've seen it, but for our viewers, I want to play the clip because I'm giving Tank 10s across the board. So can we play the clip and then, you know, have a brief discussion afterwards?
You know I can't wait
You can't wait?
for
Okay,
that. You know.
if we can, let's go ahead and roll that clip, ladies and gentlemen.
It said in 2017 you received slack for performing at a black gay pride event.
Yeah.
Why would you receive slack for that?
You tell me.
Oh, I'm asking you.
He saw your tweet.
You know, I think it's just a disconnect, a lack of understanding.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think I'm gonna speak, you know, in terms of the black community, there's a stigma.
Right.
And there's a hate that goes along with being gay.
Right.
Right? And oftentimes in our language to even degrade a person,
Right.
to the lowest we can degrade them,
Right.
we use gay as the adjective.
Right. That's crazy.
And so that carries on even into entertainment.
Right.
So paint the picture for you. My guy Brian, who used to manage Fantasia, who's a gay man, who's my friend, he said, "Hey man, what'd you think about performing at Gay Pride in DC?" I said, "Yeah, well,
And you from DC, right?
I'm from DC,
Okay,
man.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm from
okay,
DMV. I said, shit, what kind of bag they got?
Right.
He said, they got this kind of bag. I said, I'm on the way. I'm on the motherfucking way, right? And so we get in there, and the first thing he says is, "Are you gonna take your shirt off?"
Right.
And I said, "You call me, right?
Right.
I do what I do. I do a thing.
Right.
I'm not scared of, like, it's not gonna rub off on me because I'm here. I came to do my show. Right? So I go out there and I'm doing the first song, right? And as I'm singing my first song, I just kind of notice I'm scanning the crowd. You know, they don't know how to receive me. At this time, I'm not knowing I'm the first straight male artist to ever do it.
Oh, okay.
I'm not knowing the energy. I'm not understanding why all these questions are, you know, surrounding this. So I get out there and, you know, I finish my first song and the explosions go off. Bam! I'm like, bam! They're like, all right. I'm like this. Are y'all trying to maintain some type of masculinity while I'm on this thing? If you sissies don't turn up while I'm in here right now, I can't even see y'all. And they say, yeah! And it was at that moment that they understood, like, I have no judgment for you in your lifestyle. I only have love for you as a human being. You also are the reason why I'm able to feed my family.
Right.
So I love you for that. And I'm going to entertain the same way I would entertain on any stage, whether it's a bunch of girls in the front row, a bunch of guys in the front row. I'm secure in my shit.
Yes.
I'm secure. I don't feel like I'm going to walk into a gay room and all of a sudden become gay. Right? And so when the backlash comes and people are saying, "Oh, he must be gay," I can laugh at that because that's not the worst thing you can call me.
Right.
Because I don't see it as that. So I just did Pride in Dallas. Where's the bag at?
Right.
Do I got fans there? Do they got the bag?
Right.
I'm on the way.
Right.
You sure you want to take pictures? You goddamn right I want to take pictures.
Right.
It ain't real if it ain't photographed. It don't hit the gram. I was there in full support.
Right.
So I told them, I said, once we get out of this hate space,
Right.
and are willing to have a real sit down and try to understand each other and do it in love, there's always gonna be this barrier between so many things.
Right.
So for me, I lead with love, man.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is.
All right. Tank, I've never bought one song that you've ever. I don't know any. but I will be doing it tomorrow. He just got onto my Pandora. So that's 10s across the board for Tank.
Yeah, I mean, applause. I didn't know who he was at all either, but I'm like, well, first of all, he's fine,
Yeah.
and and he's taking off his clothes. That's another point. Like, I'm all about Tank these days.
Yeah, I really wanted to play that clip because it was a feel-good moment, particularly in this date and time, and for Black Pride. I thought that was a great message to get across. So again, 10s across the board for Tank.
Absolutely. I mean, and he touched on so many important issues. I mean, the stigma about the LGBTQI community within the Black community. Someone needs to be talking about that. You know, we're always talking about how white people need to check in with white people, and in racism, we need to have our Black people check in with our Black people to help end homophobia. Right. I mean, he also talked about, you know, that it's really about the money. I mean, it sounds messy and it sounds sort of derivative and reductive to just say that, but I think that's the best way to get other artists to realize that the LGBTQ community is really we're a group of fans, regardless of who we like, and, you know, come entertain us.
Well, and I'm just to add to what you just said, our money is green too. Okay. And if you play with it and don't get it, watch how your pocketbook looks. And that's the message that Tank sent. Yes. Do your job. You're an entertainer. Do your job. So many applause to Tank. So thank you. Thank you. Yes.
So when he said, I came to see you sissies turn up, did that hit you in any way?
It did not hit me in any way.
Rock on.
It did not bother me. Because I knew where he was coming from. In my mind, he was coming from love, you know, and to that, we in our community, we can call each other bitch, sissies, and say that in our community. But the way he said it was, you know, hey, come on, sissies, you know, and trust me, there are some people who live for the word sissy and love it.
I'm wondering if he said it at the concert or if he was just saying it there in that forum to elevate. But I was curious.
I mean, that's just my person. I'm sure somebody was offended by it. And I'm just saying, and to them, I'm saying that I knew that they probably were, but I wasn't. You asked me, I wasn't.
No, I asked you. I was just curious if that tapped you in any way. All right, on.
So we're gonna blow. Okay, balloons, because we right here. We ushered in love. Are you ready? Thank you for indulging me on that conversation, Vash. You know, I appreciate your POV. So are we ready to get on with this show? Because we have a trailblazer here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And I've been talking about him. Many of you know that I have worked with this brother before, and he is doing some wonderful things in the community. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the He Said stage, Mr. Rahim Briggs, CEO of Project Briggs. Can you come How you doing, Rahim?
This face is beat, ain't it?
Yeah, you look good.
Hey, big.
Okay, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Good. Well,
hey, Vash, how are you?
I'm doing even better now that you're on screen. There's a lot of beauty on this screen, y'all. I'm telling you.
On complete flake, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, just complete. But Rahim, welcome to the show tonight, man. We're glad that you're here. We know that you have a busy weekend, and so we got some questions that we want to talk to you about. Hold on for 1 second. How you doing, Judy? That's right, Judy. Welcome to the show, Judy. Judy, I love you. So again, welcome to the show, Rahim. I'm gonna give you the first question because as I mentioned in my opening remarks, how the first Black Gay and Lesbian Pride was birthed. And when I think of you and your commitment efforts over the 20 years that I've known you to be one of the pioneers in the LGBTQIA+ community. When did you become an advocate for the LGBTQIA community, and why do you do it?
Well, I became an advocate in the LGBTQ community. My identical twin brother tested positive in 1997 with HIV. And during that time, there was a lot of stigma. People were not clear on the therapeutics, the type of medications to take. Back in those days, they had AZT, and a lot of people were getting really sick from those earlier medications and therapeutics. So I remember one day, I was coming home from back in those days, and I met you, Alvin, at the beach, ATB in LA, at the beach. And so my brother drove me to the airport so I could fly back to DC. And As soon as I got out of the car, he told me, he said, hey, I'm HIV positive. And I'm telling you, my whole, I had an out of body experience. I was just so, it was surreal. And when I flew home on that plane, you know, you fly those long flights. The flight's supposed to take 2 hours or 3 hours. It felt like a 10-hour flight. I didn't know. The first thing I was thinking, I said, my twin brother's going to die. Wow. What am I going to do? I felt helpless.
Right.
I felt alone and I felt helpless. And so one day I just said to myself, you know what? I got to do something. I got to do something. And I began the process of figuring out what is it that I want to do, how am I going to get this message across to people in Washington, D.C. Because during that time I was only here for 3 years, and you know, nobody knew who I was. But you know, I just said, I asked God to give me guidance, and so I started, you know, this little event called the White Party. It was in my backyard, and it's funny because how I got started, I heard of this organization called Us Helping Us. And during that time, I heard of this guy named Dr. Ron Simmons, who, you know, who I admire, who's an inspiration to me, who's been one to me, the late, great Dr. Ron Simmons. And so it's funny because this was the time they were on Capitol Hill. You remember they were by the mill, right around the corner from the mill. And I knocked on their door and I said, hey, my name is Rahim Briggs. And Ron said, who are you? And I said, hey, what you want to do? I said, well, you know, I heard about Us Helping Us. I think your organization is a great organization because it helps, you know, Black gay men. And I want to do this little event called the White Party. And it's going to be held in my backyard, you know, off Roosevelt Place in Northeast DC. And I just, you know, got together with a couple of friends, neighborhood DJ. We decked out the backyard. We went to the liquor store,
and that started. And that started your White Party. That started your advocacy.
That was the journey. That was the journey.
It was a journey, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more. So I have one more question to ask you. Just if you could quickly tell me, what does Black Pride mean to you?
Black Pride to me means a safe space for us to be who we are. It means everything to me that we can be totally Black and unapologetic. And with, you know, gentrification happening in DC, it's even more important that we have to protect our space. It is our voice for our entire community. So what it means to me is a space that we can celebrate each other unapologetically.
Thank you, Rahim. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, all right.
Yeah. I recognize and understand all that you just said. So the Project Briggs is a 501c3 organization.
Yes.
I'm curious, why make it a 501c3 organization, and what does Project Briggs do? Tell me about that.
So in order for me, in order to operate as a 501c, we have the advantage of getting corporate sponsorships and tax. When people make donations, the added value of that is that your donations is tax deductible. And so I wanted to form an organization that, you know, while, you know, raising money, we can seek corporate sponsorships and support. There are a lot of organizations at the end of the year, they look to give away money, and what better way to give away money or to get the tax write-off, and particularly to our donor base and supporters. We usually send out an email asking them to support the work that we do, the outreach work that we do. Our mission, Project Briggs, you know, we're a progressive, independent nonprofit charity. And our main focus is to support projects, cultural events, activities for diverse community. But the main thing that leads our organization, our rallying cry is community is our superpower. It's our superpower because we are a grassroots organization. It's what we stand on. It's the reason why we're able to do the outreach work that we do. I always tell people this, whether you got $2 or $2 million, you still have to do the work. There is no excuse why you cannot do the work in the community. You have to make it happen. And I believe that I do everything I can to make it happen. And so there's no excuse not to do God's work. When God calls you, to do the work, you don't ask them how, you just do it, because you have to have faith of a mustard seed. And I've always had that mustard seed of faith to do the work of the people.
And that sounds like that's why it's a 501c3, because by its nature, you want to have community involvement. It's about the community for the community. I love it.
Yes.
And I have to speak to that because I was personally impacted by Project Briggs when Rahim started his event. Rahim, I'm going to take you down a little memory lane because yes, you mentioned how you took your white party from you started in the backyard, but when you brought me on team with you, you took your white party to one of the most signature events in DC called the white affair, the white attire affair.
Yes.
And you had that event on the rooftop of the Warner Building of Washington, DC, on the rooftop of a building. And you gave me the opportunity to produce that show with singer Lettucey. Can you share with us some details, or share with our viewers some details about that event and what it meant to you?
Well, Alvin, I'm going to steal your words. I'm going to knock your socks off. That's what that event did. It's going to knock your socks off. And the other word that I used, wow factor. Alvin invented that word, wow factor. Let me just say that because of you, Alvin, your involvement, you took it to a whole nother level. I had the vision, but baby, your talent, I was blown away. So let me walk you through what that experience was like. Back in those days, they didn't have online. Everything was handing out flyers, and it was just word of mouth. And it was so funny. Now you're gonna laugh because the general admission ticket back in 2002 was $25, and the VIP was $100. Okay, these kids, they were like, "What? That's too high. They should be $10." Da 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 da. So I'll never forget. When we were selling tickets, nobody was buying tickets. Everybody was stressing out. So the last 4 days of the event, baby, you couldn't, baby, we were selling tickets. People was grabbing them. They was going crazy. And so when we were at the venue, everybody dumped the money in front of Alvin. We was counting the money because we had to pay for the liquor. It was so
I have to add on to that was an event that in my opinion, because most of what I do is in fashion. So for me, that was a coming out to the gay community, if you will. That was me letting the people who I know and love, who I'm a community that I'm a part of, that we can take it to next level. And so to get the type of reaction and the response that event got, it was actually something that I'm most proud of. I talk about a lot because, Vash, I'm gonna tell you, when the kids came into the Warner Building downstairs, the Duke Ellington School of the Performing Arts singers were singing up a staircase when they came in.
Yes.
Oh, gorgeous.
It was a moment. So
yes.
So I'm proud of it. Rahim, thank you for sharing that with our viewers, and hopefully one day we can share some clips from that event.
Absolutely.
I want to see that, especially the kids singing on the stairs.
Well, when you come down for popcorn, when you come down to stay with me for a weekend, Vash, I'm going to pull out the video and we're going to take a look.
I absolutely cannot wait.
I just want to add one thing. When we were on that rooftop, and then Alvin said, "Okay, the event has begun," and so we went downstairs. Baby, when they opened up that atrium, everybody.
It was a lot of A-listers there. I won't say how much she cost, but Lettucey not only brought herself, but she brought the Brecker brothers with her. Yes, if anybody knows jazz, she brought the Brecker brothers with her, and I will forever be indebted to Lettucey and nobody wanted me to use Lettucey. How about that? They didn't want me to because they didn't know who she was. I was the one who knew who she was because I went to Tower Records every day. So I knew who she was.
And they called that event, Alvin, the Blueprint. It is legendary. People still talk about it to this day. I just went downstairs to the Black Pride opening reception. People still talk about the white party. They still talk about it to this day. I mean, that was legendary. It was legendary.
Well,
wow. I know. Look, we haven't even talked about legendary, and that's on this sixth episode. You're going to derail us because we will talk about legendary all day. Rahim, I have a question for you because you've been appointed to the chair of the LGBTQIA+ Commission in Ward 8 in DC. For those of us who don't live in DC, can you tell us what Ward 8 is and what's it like being on this commission working under Councilmember Trayvon White?
So Ward 8 is located east of the river. Of course, you have 8 wards in the city. Ward 8 and Ward 7 is east of the river, and those are the 2 poorest wards in the city. Ward 8 in particularly is the highest rate of HIV infections. It has, as a matter of fact, because of gentrification, a lot of LGBT community can only, they can only afford because it's the most affordable ward in the city. Well, one of the things I wanted to do was work with Councilmember Trayvon White, who has just been absolutely amazing in formulating and putting this commission together. What we wanted to do was do something to address and identify those specific needs. And just to name a few off the top of my head was mental health, suicide prevention, housing for seniors and youth, workforce development, just to name a few off the top of my head. We've been able to assemble folks from Whitman Walker, who's on our commission, folks from different organizations and groups and grassroots organizations like Black Lives Matter, just people who are movers and shakers who have assembled this group. The commission started back in 2020, and we have quarterly meetings. One of the things that we focus on is looking at the gaps in our community and the concerns, and then coming up with recommendations to pitch them to Councilmember Trayvon White. So we've been able to do that. We are the only commission at the ward level in the entire city of Washington, D.C. I would say kudos to Councilmember Trayvon White for having the vision to put this commission together and to allow me to serve. And I intend to do the best job of my abilities, because we have an opportunity in Ward 8. Ward 8 is fast changing. It's actually what I would say in the eye. It's hot right now because everyone's moving into Ward 8. A lot of development is coming into Ward 8. Whitman Walker Health is coming into Ward 8. Bread for the City is coming to Ward 8. So there's a renaissance, but at the same time, we're still fighting to make sure that we have affordable housing for LGBT youth, LGBT seniors. We have to continue to look out for underserved communities. And it is my job to ensure that we continue to have the discussions and to come up with policies to advance those discussions on the legislative front.
Thank you. I have a question for you, because we keep using the acronym LGBTQI or LGBTQIA, and I find that you keep going back to either LGBT or LGBTQ.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why?
Well, you know what? Sometimes I get a little tongue-tied, but it's officially LGBTQ and the commission's LGBTQ. While I do understand they have the I and the plus, and I, for a lot of people, there's just a lot of alphabets, but I try to focus just on LGBTQ, not saying that, we're not eliminating the rest of the alphabet. So, yeah.
It's just interesting because I am an intersex activist, so I'm really clear about wanting to have the I represented, because there's so many implications that help everyone understand who humanity is by understanding intersex people. So I would strongly recommend that you guys take a look at that to make sure that you are seeing who we all are. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you duly noted, and we will add the I LGBTQA on the commission. And again, it's no slight. This is a new commission, and we're doing everything we can to ensure that we are representing the entire community. So thank you, Vash. I appreciate you pointing that out.
Right on. Thank you.
That is what we're here for. Well, thank you, Rahim. Well, as I said, you are very busy. And on Monday, May the 30th, ladies and gentlemen, Project Briggs, in collaboration with the Butler's Kitchen, are presenting Pride by the River in the Anacostia Park section of Washington, D.C. So please welcome to the He Said stage co-collaborator, Mr. Jabriel Seymour Butler, owner of the Butler's Kitchen. Jabriel, welcome to our show, my man. Thank you.
Hello. I am so honored to be here. Now, y'all know I've been having my cocktails, listening and waiting and everything. And I'm gonna tell you now, Rahim, go ahead, boy. I'm so proud of you. So proud to be a part of this, and I am ready to rock and roll. Hit me with it.
Well, thanks again for being here. Loving your energy. Do me a favor. Let's talk. I want to. Can you take a moment and talk about the Butler's Kitchen and what it is, and then you can package up that apron and send it to me afterwards. Go ahead, please.
Look, it'll look nice on you too. I knew it would.
Baby, who you talking?
The chest would just go up. You know, your titties bigger than mine. Well, again, thank you. I am Jabriel Moore Butler. I am part owner of the Butler's Kitchen. My husband, Robert Butler, is at work where he should be, but most husbands are supposed to be at work. Yeah. The Butler's Kitchen came out of the pandemic. You know, Robert and I, we always hosting, dinner parties, and somewhere or another, people tend to end up in my kitchen where I don't want them at while I'm cooking. In my way, by the way. And it seems to be where the conversations come out of just nowhere, and they'll just be, any and everything. So I sat down one day as I was bored in my house and couldn't go nowhere, trapped, feeling like a prison. I came with the idea of the Butler's Kitchen, where we come together and we talk about any and everything. The motto is there's nothing left off the table here in our kitchen. And we talk about food. One thing we do know is food brings everybody together. I don't care what color you are, what nationality you are, what letter in the GLBTQRIB, no matter, food will bring us all together. And when we have food in front of us, let's talk. Let's talk. And maybe on a full stomach, you won't be so mad about stuff. You can be open to hear what you need to hear. No, but that's just about show. And follow us on Instagram. We have a great Facebook group called Exclusive, where we allow everybody who loves to cook to just come in the kitchen and throw it down and show what you got going on. And it's amazing.
Time for another cooking show, Vash. What you say?
Look, it sounds like it is.
Time for another, and we might have to invite Mr. Jabriel back with us. Okay.
Hey, you love some good old Southern food. You like fat. Look, now I'm telling you, I'm not saying that I like health. I'm all about health and wellness, of course.
Yes.
But everything is in moderation. I still eat grease. I'm sorry. I cook grease.
Do what you do.
That's right. Homemade biscuits from scratch. I don't do all that in the box. Rahim, no, he like not my food.
That is so fun. I would like some of that sangria, actually. So, Jabriel, can you tell me how you and Rahim came together to collaborate on Pride by the River?
So let's first, now, Rahim and I go back as far as you guys go back to white parties. He's my brother. I love him. We are joined. And I've watched Rahim through the years. As I served on many boards, us myself, and I watched Rahim from the grind so hard. And one of the things that I do not like is when we take advantage of our own people. And I saw that a lot happening with him. And I was gone for a while, and I came back to the city, and we reconnected. And I told him it's time to bring Project Briggs to what was at the next level. And he promised me that was what we were going to do once I came aboard. Pride by the River, I will tell you, it means a lot more than what you guys could imagine to me. It's a vision of freedom. It's a vision of no longer hiding behind Fort DuPont in the woods. I applaud, I miss the late, great Dr. Ron Simmons, because he laid the foundation for Mondays like no other. But it's time to elevate. It's time to come out of the woods, in the closet, whatever you want to call it, whatever your demon is, come out. And I felt that Anacostia Park, Ward 8 gave us in the water, gave you that feeling of freedom, the Harriet Tubman kind of feel. We can be open to ourselves, be out and be just free. And that's what it felt. That's why I want everybody to come out and just be yourself, be free.
You see, again, one of those moments, I'm ready to pass the plate. Okay, I'm ready to call you Reverend Jabriel. Okay, I'm Jabriel. I'm ready to call you Reverend. Baby, that was a word right there. And that's all I'm gonna say. Thank you.
Baby.
Thank you for laying that out so eloquently as well.
And believe me, I did not do this, and we did not do this in no type of competition, no type of I want to be better than somebody else. It was to let me talk to you, brothers and sisters.
Make it clear. That's right.
You saw what we did last year. We had nothing, and people still came out to Pride by the River. And we're not a large organization. We don't have millions of dollars. We don't have, we just have each other in love.
Right.
And the love for the community, the love for our people, our family. See, they're my family. I don't know everybody, but you're still my family. Right. And until we come together, how do you expect others that are our different brothers to respect us? So this was about for me. Come to the water. Get baptized and let's get real, baby.
I'm not messing with you. I'm not messing with you. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm tired of foolishness.
Thank you, Gabrielle.
And I'm gonna shuck this corn while y'all talking. Y'all in my kitchen. I'm sorry. I got corn. I got an event tomorrow, so we're gonna keep talking. Come on.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I was going to ask you a question, but you kind of answered that question already, Gabrielle. The event garnered some impressive local sponsorships.
Oh, absolutely.
And I wanted to ask you, share with us the importance this year from last year of having sponsorship for an event of this magnitude.
I'm the vice president of grants and sponsorships, and I'm going to be honest with you, to see the amount of energy from our sponsors coming in. I mean, again, it's all about being in the right space, presenting the right position, and trusting. And somebody said, look what they did last year without sponsorship. Wonder what they can do with sponsorship. Because see, guys, this is just the beginning of the new change coming your way.
Right.
There's not been a cultural Black Pride event. That's coming. Parade. Why don't we have a parade? A POC parade.
A what parade?
A POC parade. People of color.
Park.
Okay.
A park.
I heard a different type of
okay,
parade.
not because I thought I heard POC.
I was like, well,
no.
see.
Okay, no, I thought you said
Get out
POC,
of my kitchen.
I was like
Get out of my
this.
kitchen. I ain't made no edible in a long time.
Go ahead and put your lips in the glass, Alvin. But no, we heard with you a park parade.
Yeah, people of color parade.
Yeah.
We can have the same energy that Capital Pride garners.
Yeah.
We just got to be brothers and sisters and not try to be, crabs in the barrel.
Right.
That's it. That's it. And that's all.
So it sounds like visibility is where you are now. Like in the journey of everything, you think that visibility is key.
Visibility and really having those hard conversations that maybe not everybody wants to hear. And that's one of the things that I pride myself on. I really don't care how you feel. I'm going to tell you how it is.
Who are you talking about? Conversations with who?
Some about our brothers that don't look like us.
That don't look okay. Well, what about those that do look like us?
But visibility is a different conversation. It's about the audience you sit with. Now that becomes a different conversation of, listen, where are you at in your space in this community? What do you want for this community? Are you putting party over community or community over party? And party meaning that Pride to me is not about all these parties, okay? It's a reunion for me, because the more I see my brothers alive coming back every year that I see, that's a reunion for me. And so when we talk to my brothers about going different directions, I try to tell them it's not about that. There's enough in the kitchen for everybody to eat. It's just depending on what you want to eat. Right. We can't be divisive. We can't be decisive or divisive in our own community. We cannot.
And again, I'm trying to make sure that I get a good understanding of when you say community and which community in our community, which communities you're talking about. Because coming out means being exposed so that we are seen, which it sounds like what you're trying to do. And my question is, seen by who? And I would just want to be clear about that. And now, if you're talking about
seen by who would be everybody. That means the Caucasians, the Latinos, everybody. Because at the end of the day, I'm only going to speak about my community, meaning that people who look like me. Okay, that's my first priority. It's the people who look like me. Sure. Because if I can garner and help us all come together that look like me, then we can move forward as one and not as individuals.
So I just want to throw us back to Tank's comment earlier. One of the first things he said was that there's an issue within the Black community about dealing with LGBTQ people. So is your message equally being sent out to
our heterosexual brothers and sisters? Absolutely.
Fantastic. I just want to make sure that I understood.
But I want to throw this at you as well. You know, my journey has been a little different from a lot of my brothers and sisters as well. I didn't come out and have any kind of issues coming out. My family was open, receive. I was married, kid, single father, raised my kid. I didn't. So I saw others go through some of those fights within our community, and I know it's there. But I personally didn't. I was blessed and fortunate. I did not have to go through that in my family. I did not have to look for love outside of my family. They were extremely supportive of who I am today. And I'm a granddaddy. Yay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Getting sexy by the minute. Hold on a second.
Yeah. I'm grandpa. So, I just turned 50. I'm a young grandpa, but, good. But I have an overwhelming love of my community. I have overwhelming love that I think that I know that we can love harder and stronger within ourselves.
Well, I'm happy that you're helping other people in the community become more aware, become more, open to provide the love to our LGBTQI people wwho are not getting it from their families. So thank you.
I am also at Milwaukee Health. I'm actually one of the employees there as well. I'm in HR. So I'm in a good seat to where I can see, the work that's being done, that we are doing, that's changing inside. So that's a good thing.
Sounds like you can get somebody a job too, y'all. So reach out.
Y'all. He said, where you hear it all. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, look, we are about to end our conversation with you, Rahim and Jabriel. First of all, let me just say thank you all for doing what you do and for coming on the show with Vash and I tonight. I have one last question. I have one last question for both of you. How can people learn more about Pride in the Pride in the Park event on Monday, May the 30th? How can they find out more?
Okay, so you can go to projectbriggs.org, and it's on our homepage of the website. Once you go there, it's basically, we rolled out the actual schedule of the event. Absolutely. So people know exactly what time the event is going to start all the way to finish. As part of our event, we're actually going to take a time to honor our sponsors, recognize them for making this event possible. We all know that without them, this is not possible. Whitman Walker Health, Metro Health, Gay Professional Men of Color, Anacostia River Realty. And, we've just been really so blessed to have the sponsors that we have this year. Along with Councilmember Trayon White, who will be there to support our event. I'm overwhelmed, humbled, and overjoyed because we get to present our best. Last year was great, but this year's the next level. This is the next level. This is what we talked about. Jabriel and I talked. This is what the next level looks like. And so what we want to do is, this is a free event. It's free because some people can't afford to go to all the Pride events. But this is an official DC Black Pride event, and it's free. But although it is free, it is our responsibility to put on the best show possible. And the production side of it is going to be amazing.
Absolutely. And come get some good food.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you. And speaking about the performances before I let you go, thank you, Jabriel and Rahim, for being with us tonight. I love you guys. Don't go away because we're going to bring you back because right now we have a special guest that is the headliner for your event on Monday, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
So
yes.
Rahim and Jabriel, we will come back to you guys again. Thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So singer, performer, actor, entertainer, Marck Angel exploded onto the underground music scene in 2008 and has consistently manifested his artistry, bringing an urgent breath of fresh air to what is currently a very stark and interchangeable mainstream pop and R&B lineup. He is the featured headliner this week for Pride by the River on Monday, May the 30th, hosted by Project Briggs and the Butler's Kitchen. Welcome to the He Said stage, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Marck Angel.
And I was trying to come on smooth and classy, and I had so one more hi guys.
Well, you know what, Mark, I don't know if you can hear us, but we're having a little bit of distortion on your end. Yeah, so we're gonna let you fix that because I said, wait a minute, that sounds like Mark is getting ready to do, what do you call those things, reverb or something like that? Let me see, can we hear you now?
Can you hear me now?
We're still picking up some feed from you. So what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, while Mark fixed that, we're going to let him fix that if our producers can do that. And I just want to have a brief chat with Vash. Can we take a moment to correct that and then bring Marck Angel back because we need him here. I want you all to see Marck Angel. Please. Oh, there you are. There you are. Okay, good. It's live, baby. It's live. This happens when it's live. It was the headphones. So welcome to the show, Mark.
Thank you. I was actually on mute by accident. So
okay. Like I said, I have been following you. I have been doing my Marck Angel homework, and you work your astronaut off because I can't say what I want to really say. Okay, so you really do. So thank you again for being here. Mark, take a moment to share with us who is Marck Angel.
Oh gosh. Okay, you can hear me clearly, right?
I can hear you clearly.
Marck Angel is an out music pop R&B singer. A little sexy, a little sass. I sing, I dance, I write, I produce most of my own stuff. But in the entertainment aspect, there's also a high level of activism in what I do. So my new album, Seraphim, that's what it's about. It's about activism and entertainment and dancing and just bringing enlightenment to the queer community. Yeah. So that's what Marck Angel is really, And I've been doing this for like 10 years,
Wow. What? So you started when you were what, 13?
No, I was like 20.
What is going on here?
2020, like 25, somewhere around there.
A child prodigy. Okay. Well, your skin cream is working, baby. Okay.
That's some good oil of Olay. That's all I'm saying. So, Mark, again, getting introduced to you this week, your music is so well produced. It's so polished. Like you are on your game. It's really lovely. And your music seems to cross genres. You're hip hop, you got some pop going on, you got some R&B. How would you define your style of music? And who inspires you?
Okay, let's start with who inspires me first. I guess, of course, Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye, vocally Tevin Campbell, and the Jacksons, El DeBarge, a lot of the great tenors of our time, really. But then on the other side of it, it's also the production side too, because I love Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. I love Timbaland. I love Quincy Jones. Everything Quincy Jones is just out of the park. So those are the people who kind of inspire me. So that's why I sing, and I also produce my stuff as well. Yeah.
And how would you define your music?
Pop R&B, up tempo mostly. I do dance and sing. It's just I don't try to put myself into just this box of just it has to be pop or it has to be R&B because I'm Black, I'm queer. I'm gonna do hip hop. I'm gonna do jazz. I'm gonna do soul. I'm gonna do that even has like classical sounds on it. I'm gonna do rock music. I'm gonna do all different types, pop rock. I love pop rock. I love electronica. I love house music. I love club music. So it's, if you had to categorize it as pop, that's fine. But it spans all different types. Yeah.
Anybody listening is going to find something that's referential, just something that they really hold true and
Yeah.
dear.
Yeah. And particularly with this album, the lyrics are what really kind of reaches out, because we're in a really tough time right now. And the album is kind of reflective of this time that we're in right now in regards to just socially conscious stuff, and also the stuff that we've gone through over the past, 400 years as Black people. So yeah. So everything I do has to have sort of a message to it as well. Yeah.
Well, Denzel Marshall has said, in fairness, I wouldn't define Marck's music as anything other than inspiring and powerful. The GOAT, greatest of all time.
All right. All
Check is in the
right.
mail to
All
you,
right. All right. Like I said, you are bad. I mean, I heard as I listened to the clips on your webpage, I was like, well, who does he sound like? And you didn't sound like anybody, but it was, I wanted to want you to sound like somebody, but you didn't. And I love that. I love that, because that's how I hear music. I came away to this show tonight thinking we have this unique entertainer on here. And for those of you who don't, again, go to his website, marckangel.com, and get familiar with him. Okay?
Thank you.
Because he's a beast.
Thank you. Thank you.
I had to say it one more time.
Thank you so much.
Alvin, can I ask one more question?
Yeah, please.
Since we're talking about your music, Seraphim, what's this project about? Because when I think of Seraphim, that has definitely powerful meaning behind it.
Yeah, well, first, of course, Marck Angel. So it's a little play on Seraphim. Actually, is a derivative of angel. The Latin word means angel of fire, actually. And so it's reflective of the album in regards to just putting the work in, putting the fire in, enlightenment, empowerment into particularly Black, queer, and marginalized communities, because we're the ones who need that inspiration right now, to me, mostly. So that's why it's kind of geared towards that. However, no matter what race you are, no matter what sexuality you are, no matter what creed you are, no matter what religion, you can still listen to this album. But I want to concentrate on marginalized communities. So it's a socially conscious album. Pop, R&B, hip hop is the base, but it's sprinkles of jazz, soul, classical, rock, electronica. It's a fun album. And the point is, I wanted to make it danceable. So I didn't want it to be like, you guys better do better, Earth needs to get better. No, it's get together, have a good time, dance, but also be aware of what's going on in the world around you. So that's pretty much what the album is about. Yeah. And we have amazing artists on it. I got Liquid on it. I got Fly Young Red on it. Barren Artists, a lot of amazing other artists that are in sort of this out queer music world. Yeah.
Wow. Nice.
Well, you're hitting on it, and they're loving on you, because in addition to performing this weekend for Pride at the River. For Pride at the River, Lord, I keep okay. You are also slated to come back to Capitol Pride in DC, as well as Harlem Pride, Baltimore Pride, Charlotte Black Pride, and New York Black Pride. So, brother, you are working, and I want to give one more congratulations to you that I read. Gay Bar Magazine, you on the Gay Bar Magazine cover, and Gay Bar Magazine is the LGBTQ's new source for underground artists. You are doing your damn thing and being recognized, brother. What did that mean to you to get that cover?
Well, so they didn't give me the cover.
Oh, that's not you on the cover?
That's not me on the cover. That's not all Black people look alike, Alvin.
Did I do that? Oh, okay, he just shut
that
me
wasn't
down.
Me on the cover.
But I thought that was you.
The way the promo was, we have to switch it around so Marck Angel is first. You can't.
Oh, I thought that was you. Yeah. So I'm gonna say shame on Gay Bar, because I thought it was you. I thought it was you. Okay.
They didn't give me the cover, but that's fine, because they gave me so much. They gave me so much more love than I thought. It was only supposed to be a feature at first. And then they decided to do a full review and then also do an ad as well, because they heard the album and they were blown away by it. And I just wanted to, just say, oh, hey, I'm Marck Angel. I'm back. You wanted to have a conversation. And when they interviewed me and they heard the album, they were like, no, we gotta do something more. So the 5 rainbows is like unheard of. Like that's like the source. You get, 5 mics in the source or whatever it is. It's yeah, it was crazy. I when I read it, I cried. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, first of all, again, my bad. I thought that was you. So pardon my excitement and my whatever happened in that
please
moment.
Still get the magazine though. Please still get it.
Get the magazine. Okay. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Thank you.
That's hilarious.
And then the tour kicks off on Monday with Pride by the River, DC Black Pride's Pride by the River, Monday and Anacostia Park. I think I go in at 5 p.m. I think. And it's going to be high octane singing, dancing the entire time. The set is great. It's me and my dancers, and we're just going to rock the stage and have a good time. I'm literally singing and dancing from the time I come on to the time that I get off. So, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
We have a clip of some behind the scenes of you preparing for this tour that, we would really love to share. So do you want to set up what it is that we're about to see?
Okay, if I think I'm right, it's a clip from the behind the scenes of my new upcoming video, Up. Up is part of my new album, Seraphim, and actually we'll be performing Up as well on Monday to kick off the Seraphim tour. And I hope you enjoy this. It's a little fun behind the scenes though. We have a couple little bloopers in there, but you'll enjoy it. You'll get it.
Right on.
Let it rip. Let's do it.
Hey now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. And let me just remind you again, you saw it first, okay?
Yeah,
this is exclusive, okay? This is the debut, okay? Mark, thank you for sharing that with us. We really do appreciate you being with us. Ladies and gentlemen, on Monday, Monday, May the 30th, Pride in the Park. If we could have Rahim.
Pride by the River.
Did I say? I told you all backstage, take my damn script away, and it's on. Pride by the River. Keep that up, okay? I'm not trying to send y'all to the wrong event. I swear
you sure is.
You don't want to go back.
You ain't got to go to the woods, honey.
I'm not going to do that. We're not going back to the woods, as Jabriel said. But I want to.
We're not going back to a sunken place.
No, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. But in the whole atmosphere of love, I want to thank you all for being with us tonight. Rahim and Jabriel, thank you all for being here, and congratulations on your event on Monday. Really do appreciate you, and thank you for coming on our show. And to Marck Angel, thank you for being here as well. Really appreciate it, and hopefully you will come back soon, and I will be out there on Monday screaming and hollering like everybody else.
Alvin.
You got to make it quick because we got to sign off, Rahim. What do you get ready to say?
One thing, if I can have a beautiful smile like Vash, oh, I would kill for that smile, baby. You're rocking that smile, boo.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what.
You
already did it. If he said live at Gmail. Send an email. Okay, we're good. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. Next week on June the 3rd, we will have the singer J. Paul Experience will be here for a full interview with us, ladies and gentlemen. He will be here to talk about his new album and his upcoming projects. And we're going to close out this week with Words of the Week. When all Americans are treated as equal, no matter who they are or whom they love, we are all more free. And that was a quote by our president, Barack Obama. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us tonight. And we look forward to seeing you next week on our next episode of He Said.
He said.
He said.
He said.
He said. He said. It's a whole bunch of he's on here. Thank you, guys. Have a good week, and congratulations again on your project. Talk to you guys later.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.